Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. I've been having so much fun playing the American Civil War mod for Napoleon Total War that there's American Civil War 2, I should say, that I thought I'd do another, one of their scenarios, and this time I will be defending as the Confederates at the Bloody Lane at Antietam. This is a 1v1 battle, and I'm playing against a computer opponent. It's fairly good size, but it's not so big that it overwhelms your system. And these 1v1 battles actually work out pretty nicely. So we're going to see how this goes. I've not done this one before, so I really don't know what to expect fully. I'm thinking, though, this must be the Bloody Lane right here. I visited a while ago. I was down at the Antietam battlefield. I'll post a link at the end. You can see my video to the Bloody Lane. Historically, some of the fiercest fighting that happened during the Battle of Antietam took place here at the Bloody Lane, and it was also one of the very first places that America got to see firsthand what war looked like in the aftermath of battle. Alexander Gardner, I believe it was, who I think worked for Matthew Brady, went down to Antietam and took photos of Confederate dead at Bloody Lane, photos at other parts of the battlefield as well. All right, so we're gonna start getting everybody into place here. There's a lot happening. I want to get these guys up a little closer against the fence if I can. I've got a little bit of time before the Union gets there. One of the main things I definitely want to make sure that I do is, in fact, I'm going to pause for a second here, because I've got these reinforcements back here. I want to make sure that I get them into a position to be of assistance to what's happening. I've got a bunch of units up here in the woods that aren't even really being seen by the enemy right now, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just going to start moving them up a little bit. I don't want to move them all the way up just yet, but at least get them a little closer to the fighting so they can jump in and help out when the time comes. I've also got a number of units of artillery that I'm working on getting into position. Some of them I think are already ready to go. I went ahead and unlimbered these guys. These ones here I'm going to move just a little bit. I want to keep them right here because I'm hoping maybe if he moves in right here, I can maybe get some canister fire going in the open field there. But to protect them, I want to make sure that I get some additional infantry units over this way. So I already issued those orders even before I began this video. Alright, I think I've got just about everybody moving now. Let's take a look real quick. I didn't issue any orders to this artillery yet. I think I'm going to put them, right about back here, I think, for now. And we'll make sure that they rush to get over there. Okay, I think we're okay to get going. I just got to keep one eye on my mini-map here and make sure that everybody's where I want them to be. These guys should get firing pretty soon. I don't even know what kind of units they are. What kind of artillery I have. It's going to take a little while for him to get into position to start firing on me. These guys are ready to go. Let's go ahead and unlimber those. Bunch of units moving through the woods here. In fact, that's a good bit of my force. I got 5 more back here. Start moving them as well. I'll put them over that way. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll send them over this way. Put them right back here for now, but eventually move them a little farther. Alright, and here, I think that spot works. Let's unlimber that artillery. Got a couple generals here. I'm going to get them a little closer to the action, but not too crazy close. Historically, probably one of the best generals in the Confederate Army was John Gordon. And he just took a beating personally at the Bloody Lane. Shot 5 times, I believe. Eventually he was shot in the face, a wound which obviously scarred him for the rest of his life. But held the ground for as long as anybody could have. just a fierce fighting, and a great general. Very highly regarded. Eventually rose by the end of the war. Survived his wounds. Rose to Corps Command under General Lee. General Lee trusted the man greatly. And then was one of the generals that was still there at the very end. And it was his troops that were surrendering at Appomattox when the famous incident happened, where General Chamberlain, who was in many ways a lot like Gordon on the Union side, ordered his troops to offer a salute to the surrendering Confederates, and Gordon turned around and returned that salute. And both men recalled fondly afterwards that event as it had unfolded. Alright, I think we're about as ready as we can be. We already got a Union regiment that's up here close to 4th New York. We've got 14th North Carolina here, 2nd North Carolina. Just trying to keep an eye out. I can't see all of his units at the moment, so I don't know exactly where they're going to be coming down. We've got to get this battery moving a little faster. Let me see what other batteries I still need to unlimber. I think these ones are good to go. They are. So are those. I think that position will work. Alright, we're getting this brigade, this division. Well, no, I guess it'd be a brigade because these are individual regiments. Who we got here? Oh, they got hit already. Wow, look at that. Was that one shot that took out all those guys? Alright, so just artillery over here right now. Looks like most of his infantry is shifting over this way a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and send some of these additional units forward, but not all of them. Not yet, anyway. We do have small arms fire happening already. I really should get these guys up a little closer to the fence, but they're engaging, so we'll take it for now. What do we got here? 1st Delaware, 14th Connecticut. Let's just kind of stick with the action for a little bit and watch it unfold. Of course, on the Union side, one of the commanding generals was Israel Richardson, who led his troops valiantly. I think he was a division commander at this point. He was mortally wounded, and that was a big loss to the Union Army. I think he actually survived for a couple of months afterwards, but eventually died of those wounds. A lot of small arms fire coming in, but a lot of it's going high. Because I'm down in this lane, it's actually making a lot of the Union fire miss me high, it looks like. Lost 9 men there so far. Nobody on this one. These guys are going to break before they ever get to my lines, I think. Oh, there's some artillery. Oh, that's my artillery. Excellent. I'm going to stick with these guys for a minute. We're looking at the 14th North Carolina from Anderson's brigade here. Yeah, they are moving forward. They're coming at me. I don't think that's going to end well for them. But right now, they're the closest one to my lines. Oh, here comes a volley. Doesn't look like it did too much damage. I got to double check all my artillery, make sure that my batteries are all ready to go. Alright, let's get these guys unlimbered. I need to take a look here on this side because I don't think I've got anybody over here, and it looks like he might be coming down this way at me. I might need to go ahead and shift. I don't know what this regiment's doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring all of these regiments here over to this side, because it looks like he's coming that way. And these guys all kind of just spread between the two sides just in case they can go either way.
Our men are running.
Who's running? Oh, it's these guys. Oh, he did that. I hate how that happens on this game. He just rode his artillery right into me. It's just so dumb that happens. And he only took out 5 of my men, but it caused him to break anyway. And now, is he really going to unlimber right there? Alright, we're going to charge these guys. Maybe. My artillery's going at him, so I got to be cautious. In fact, I think maybe we'll just stand right here. Just such a weird thing that they do that. They ride their artillery right into your lines. Alright, in the meantime, speaking of riding into your lines, these guys have charged at my lines. And they're crossing the fence, and they're going at it. All by themselves. These are the boys of the 4th New York, and they are running. That didn't last too long. This guy didn't get the memo, and it looks like he's going to fall. Now, if they fire a volley, these guys are in trouble. Alright, here comes another regiment. The 5th Maryland. There's one here too. Boy, they're really coming in close. That's a huge unit. 1st Delaware. They're enormous. I've got some more units back here. I'm going to move them up a little closer. They're firing from back here, but I want them to be a little more effective. They're up actually above the folks down in the Bloody Lane, so we should be able to fire over them. Oh, who died already? Edwin Sumner. He's one of their corps commanders, I think. Anyway, I was starting to check my artillery to make sure that they were all unlimbered and in position, but I don't think that's the case. I got one sitting in these woods here. I got another whole brigade back here. Doesn't even look like much is happening on my left. He's shifting everybody over this way, it looks like. Unless I just don't see him. Okay, I think I've got everybody unlimbered. Really very quiet on my right. Or on my left. Some action here. I'll move up and get these guys into range. That is a huge regiment, that 1st Delaware. Oh, just hit a nice hole in the lines of the 14th Connecticut. Well, put a big crater anyway. I don't see too many dead there. He's shifting really far over. Who's this? Oh, this is General Hill. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put these guys down here. Just extend my line. Just in case. And I'll get these guys right up here. What is all this? I feel like I've got way more men than I really need to defend this position, but maybe I just can't see all of his yet. So I've got artillery fire coming in from this side. That's glorious. I love it. Oh, it looks like he's broken through my line over here. Or at least he's trying to. That's that big Delaware regiment. They've lost half their number. He's trying to hit me hard in the center, but it's not working. Wow. Ooh, that was brutal. Let's just watch this for a minute. I've got the 6th Alabama here from Rhodes Brigade. Okay, these guys are breaking. We've got the 5th Alabama over here. Second North Carolina. Everybody's holding the line right now. Have lost a lot of men from this unit here, so I got to be careful because he's got another whole line back here, and these guys will reform at some point. We'll watch from back here for a couple minutes. This fighting, historically, I don't know nearly as much about Antietam as I'd like to, but I tried to study up on it when I visited the battlefield last year. Very cool battlefield to visit. A lot to see. Not nearly as commercialized as Gettysburg, for example. Sharpsburg's still a small town. You got the National Cemetery right at the top of the hill, right at the edge of town. But the fighting went on this side. This is kind of the left side of the Union line. If you think about the Union line, kind of the north was the left side of their line, and then it curved around, or the Confederate line, I should say, the left of the Confederate line. Then it curved around down to like Burnside Bridge over on their right, which was in the southeast corner of the battlefield. And then the Union was kind of outside of that, attacking. And both here and the cornfield, which was to the left of this position, the fighting was really intense all morning and into the early afternoon. Eventually, Confederates, even though they held for a long time against overwhelming numbers, fatigue, losses, and of course supply, ammunition became an issue eventually. They were heavily outnumbered. And about the same time that all of this was going on, the attack was going on down at Burnside Bridge on the right side. And the same thing, they held for a long time against overwhelming numbers. Wow, I just took some artillery fire here, it looks like. So he's got a lot of men back there, and eventually that might become an issue for me. But right now we're okay. He's shifting everybody over to the left. So I'm probably going to have to do the same. Because I've got a lot of units over here that aren't even engaged right now in combat. I'll keep these couple of units out here, just to kind of cover that side. But I'm going to start shifting. Maybe I'll just kind of shift every other regiment right now. I'll just start shifting them over this way, and then as they get closer, I'll put them in the position where I want them. Alright, we got a unit here that's down to only a third. My goodness. They've really been heavily engaged. North Carolina, they've lost about a third of their men, but they're holding well. Facing off against the 111th Pennsylvania and that huge 1st Delaware, which is down under half strength now. He's coming at my center with everything he's got. Kind of the apex of my line here. There's General Longstreet. General Stonewall Jackson was over on the left, where the Dunker Church, where the cornfield is. Longstreet was over here, more on the right side. The 111th PA has just been destroyed. Same with the 8th Ohio. Feel bad shooting at the Ohio boys. But most of my relatives who were in Ohio regiments, they fought in the West, so these aren't any of my family members. Wow, they're just getting torn to pieces, though. There they go. Just the Delaware unit again. Nope, 29th Massachusetts. They're pretty solid unit still. Let's see how they're doing. See, they're at the top of this hill. They actually aren't under fire at the moment because the Confederate troops can't see them. They don't have a line of sight. They're about to enter into range here. Wow, that's some pretty heavy fire they're putting down. Yeah, there's really nothing going on my left side at this point. So I've got these 3 units here that are shifting over. I'm going to bring them all the way over to about here, I think. There's a battery. There is a battery that I don't have engaged. I want to get them up here a little higher on the hill. And then I'm going to move these regiments up. I got this whole brigade right here still.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
Who did we kill? General French. I think that's another corps commander. Might be a division commander. I don't really know my order of battle real well from Antietam yet. Alright, I got a unit that broke. They were charged and they broke, but that's why we have a secondary line here. Those boys from Massachusetts, I knew I was worried about them because they had some nice cover coming up over that hill. But we got them here. I have the units for this particular scenario set to medium size, so you can actually go a lot bigger with them if you feel like your system can handle that. Excuse me. I just didn't want to stress mine out too much. Alright, he's got a bunch of fresh units coming in now. This is a tough spot for my forces here because of that hill. Where's that other battery? units over here. They're still really not where I want them. Looks like these are 12-pound Napoleons. Alright, let's get those unlimbered and get them into action. And here we go again. He's got a lot of regiments coming at me now. Looks like he's got a battery over here. Some fresh brigades coming at my right side, but I've got a solid line there. I should be okay. These D.H. Hill's boys. Or at least he's the general over there. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, but I'm a little worried about the huge number of men that are coming at me here. If he would have waited and massed his forces a little better and hit me a little harder at once, instead of throwing a wave at me and then coming back with another wave, I think he'd had a little more success. And I've still got all these units over here. In fact, I'm thinking maybe now's the time. To bring some units up here and get them on his flank. Another general down for the Union. There's Israel Richardson, who did historically get mortally wounded here. So I haven't seen General Gordon for myself. That doesn't mean he's not here. I just haven't seen him. We got D.H. Hill and James Longstreet. That's probably why, because we've got higher ranking officers, not brigade commanders. Who's this over here? That's General Anderson. Yeah, these are all division commanders. This one's not really in doubt, I don't think. It'd probably be much more of a challenge to be the attacker on this battle, but as they recommend that if you're playing the AI, that you play as the defender, just because the AI does some weird things, as you've seen even here. A lot of dead boys in blue in front of me. You can imagine what it must have looked like that day on both sides, just the number of dead. Bloodiest day in American history. Oh, these guys are just getting pummeled. Wow. Wow. I can't believe they're still coming. My goodness. Jeez. He lost a ton of men moving at me like that. That was not wise. Who's this here? 57th New York. Alright, we gotta watch right here. There's a lot of fresh units coming at me. Where's my flanking force? They're getting there. We still got some units up here, so I gotta be a little careful. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one this way, just in case. The rest of these guys, I want to rush them up here.
Our men are running, sir.
Okay, well that's a problem. Alright, he broke through. That's that same It's one of those spots where there's woods and hills, and it's tough, but I've got coverage for that, so I planned for that. Not a problem. Let's get General Longstreet to use his rally command. See if we can rally some of these units. I'm going to keep these guys right here. A lot of action here in the center right now. Alright, we're starting to get our flanking force up here. That's going to be really helpful, I think. Get a little fire on his flanks. Enfilade fire. These guys are going to shift down over here, I think. Have them cover my flank there, just in case. Alright, who's running now? Alright, still that same spot where he's breaking through in my center. That's where he really loaded up. So I'm not really surprised by that. There's a lot here too. Now who? Alright, alright. Not a big deal. Plenty of extra units to cover that. These guys here, I'm surprised they haven't broken. There we go. They're all falling back now. You can see the blood, the mist from the blood as men get shot. I'd say this one's pretty well in the books. He may reform and charge at me yet one more time, but once we drive off some of these last remaining units, I've got him folded in on both sides right here, so just devastating fire coming at him right now. These guys here especially, they're really stuck. Can you imagine what it must have been like to be in a situation like this? Ooh. I can't believe these guys are still in good order. Down to 48 now. Not a problem. Really just the main thing on this battle is hold the line, have layers just to make sure that if they break through on a spot, you've got backup there. And the nice thing about this position is you've got this sunken lane down here with the fence, but then you've got an elevated position behind it where you can place another line and they can fire over their heads, offer that extra protection. Really very few units left for the Union that are in good order. Alright, so that's pretty well it. I don't think there's much else to see. I'll come back at the end and kind of show you the breakdown as far as the casualties go. Okay, so that'll do it for this battle, a close victory. You can see he had 6,000 men, I had about 4,800. Wow, he lost 4,000 of them, I lost 1,300. Obviously, pretty one-sided there. Had I been playing a real opponent, might have gone a little differently. Let's look at some individual unit statistics here. By far, my best was Anderson's Brigade, 14th North Carolina. They lost almost their entire force. They were down to 16 men, but they got 500 kills in the process. This unit here only had 115. Featherston's Brigade, the 16th Mississippi, lost half their number but killed 448. Same here. Featherston's Brigade, Anderson's Brigade, they were right in the middle of it all. They were the ones that caused the most damage and also the ones who suffered the most. So there you have it. A little look at the Bloody Lane at Antietam. I'll come back in a few days with another look at another battle. So thanks for checking that out. And if you have the game, send me a message sometime through YouTube if you want. We'll set up a time. We can play a multiplayer battle. We can even put it on the channel if you'd like. So check it out, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.